जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनम। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सुत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। दिला श्री राधा राधानाथ की जय। श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। श्रीमान महाप्रभु की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to the assembled devotees, all grace to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Narayana namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the characteristics of King Puranjan. The chapter number is 25, text number 10. Asit Puranjana Namam Raja Rajan Brihat Shravam Tasya Avigyata Nama Asit Sakham Avigyata Chestitam Asit Puranjano Namam Asit Puranjano Namam Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Tasya Vigyata Namasit Tasya Vigyata Namasit Sakha Vigyata Cheshtitam Sakha Vigyata Cheshtitam Asit Puranjano Namam Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Tasya Vigyata Namasit Sakha Vigyata Cheshtitam. Asit Puranjano Namam Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Tasya Vigyata Namasit Sakha Vigyata Cheshtitam. Asit Puranjano Namam Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Tasya Vigyata Namasit Sakha Vigyata Cheshtitam. But forward translation: Asit, there was, Puranjana, Puranjan, Nama, named, Raja, king, Rajan, O king, Brihatshravam, whose activities were great, Tasyam, his, Avigyatam, the unknown one, Nama, of the name, Asit, there was, Sakha, friend, Avigyatam, unknown, Cheshtitam, whose activities. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, text number 10, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear King, once in the past lived a king named Puranjana, who was celebrated for his great activities. He had a friend named Avigyata, the unknown one. No one could understand the activities of Avigyata. Purport: every living entity is Puranjan. The word Puram means within this body, within this form, and Jana means living entity. Thus, everyone is Puranjana. Every living entity is supposed to be the king of his body because the living entity is given full freedom to use his body as he likes. He usually engages his body for sense gratification because one who is in the bodily conception of life feels that the ultimate goal of life is to serve the senses. This is the process of karma kanda. One who has no inner knowledge, who does not know that he is actually the spirit soul living within the body, who is simply enamored by the dictation of the senses, is called a materialist. A materialist person interested in sense gratification can be called a Puranjana. Because such a materialistic person utilizes his senses according to his whims, he may also be called a king. An irresponsible king takes the royal position to be his personal property and misuses his treasury for sense gratification. The word Brihat Shrava is also significant. The word Shrava means fame. The living entity is famous from ancient times, for as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Najayate Mriyate Va. The living entity is never born and never dies. Because he is eternal, his activities are eternal, although they are performed in different types of bodies. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. He does not die even after the annihilation of the body. Thus, the living entity transmigrates from one body to another and performs various activities. In each body, the living entity performs so many acts. Sometimes he becomes a great hero, just like Hiranyakashipu and Kamsa, or in the modern age, Napoleon or Hitler. The activities of such men are certainly very great. But as soon as their bodies are finished, everything else is finished. Then they remain in name only. Therefore, a living entity may be called Brihat Shrava. He may have a great reputation for various types of activities. Nonetheless, he has a friend whom he does not know. Materialistic persons do not understand that God is present as the Supersoul, who is situated within the heart of every living entity. Although the Paramatma sits beside the Jivatma as a friend, the Jivatma or living entity does not know it. Consequently, he is described as Avigyata Sakha, meaning one who has an unknown friend. The word Avigyatas Cheshtita is also significant because a living entity works hard under the direction of the Paramatma and is carried away by the laws of nature. Nonetheless, he thinks himself independent of God and independent of the stringent laws of material nature. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Achedyoyam adayoyam akledyo shosya evacha nitya sarvagatastanur achaloyam sanatanam. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can neither be burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. The living entity is Sanatan, eternal. Because he cannot be killed by any weapon, burnt into ashes by fire, soaked or moistened by water, nor dried up by air, he is considered to be immune to material reactions. Although he is changing bodies, he is not affected by the material conditions. He is placed under the material conditions and acts according to the directions of his friend, the Supersoul, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham ridisannivishto matas smritirgyanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Thus, the Lord as Paramatma is situated in everyone's heart, and he gives direction to the living entity to act in whatever way the living entity desires. In this life and in his previous lives, the living entity does not know that the Lord is giving him a chance to fulfill all kinds of desire. No one can fulfill any desire without the sanction of the Lord. All the facilities given by the Lord are unknown to the conditioned soul. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Asit Puranjano Nama Raja Rajan Brihatshravam Tasya Vigyata Nama Sit Sakhya Vigyata Cheshtitam. My dear king, once in the past lived a king named Puranjana, who was celebrated for his great activities. He had a friend named Avigyata, the unknown one. No one could understand the activities of Avigyata. Hare Krishna. We are hearing the discourse between Narad Muni and King Prachinabharisat. Narad Muni, having delivered Dhruva Maharaj and his descendants, wanted to show compassion to the father of the Prachetas, Prachinabharisat, who was very much engaged in fruitive activities. And so he showed Prachinabhari, all these animals you've killed in the sacrifice, they're waiting for you, waiting to pierce you with their iron horns. Right? And you should not engage in such activities. Right? And then therefore he's saying that I want to tell you a story. And so Narad Muni very expertly is telling King Prachinabhari about himself. About Prachinabhari, but he changed the word. Instead of using Prachinabhari's name, he's using Puranjan's name. Narad Muni is a very expert preacher. If he was to give King Prachinabharisat directly the instruction, then the king may not appreciate it. So therefore, Narad Muni is telling a story about a different king. Actually, it's the same king, but he's using a different name so that Prachinabhari can relate to that story. So this is one of the very famous allegories found in our Vedic literature, where Narad Muni is telling about King Prachinabhari to King Prachinabhari, but using a different name. We find that Srila Prabhupada says the mother-in-law teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So when the daughter is at home and there is a daughter-in-law also, the mother-in-law does not tell anything directly to the daughter-in-law, but she scolds the daughter. Oh, you should learn like this. When you get married, then what will you do? So if the daughter-in-law is intelligent, which in Kali Yuga is difficult to find, but if the daughter-in-law is intelligent, then she'll understand, oh, the mother is chastising her own daughter like this, so I should behave. So the same way, Narad Muni, he is telling King Prachinabharisat about another king, hoping that King Prachinabharisat understands that this is his story. But we will find out later, this story is 4 chapters long, very long chapters. Some of the longest chapters found in the Bhagavatam are in this section here. And Prachinabharisat, he was a little bit dense, so he didn't get it the first time. So Narad Muni had to repeat it a second time. But nonetheless, we have an advantage over King Prachinabharisat because we have Srila Prabhupada. He is explaining to us as the story is unfolding. So we are a bit at a better advantage. There was once a merchant. He was plying the ocean with his ship. He was carrying a lot of goods. But unfortunately, there was a big storm in the middle of the ocean, and his ship got broken into pieces. And he was left there stranded in the middle of the ocean. He was thinking, I'm going to be fish food soon. And he tried to swim, but in the middle of the ocean, which direction do you swim? Where do you go? So he kind of lost his consciousness in the ocean. But when he woke up, he found that he was at a beach. He became very happy, at least he's alive. So as he started walking a little bit from the beach, he saw a very big crowd coming to him. They were running towards him, shouting, screaming. He thought, what's happened? Where am I? Are they going to kill me? Yeah. And as he was trying to run back into the ocean, the crowd caught up to him. They lifted him, they put him on their heads, and they were doing the human wave with him. They were passing him in front. And then he found that they sat him on a big throne. And everyone was bowing down before him and saying, oh, you are our king for today. We are so happy you're here. Now you can rule over us. And this businessman thought, the merchant thought, what's going on here? And then one of the villagers, they explained that whenever a new person comes to our island, that person becomes our king for 1 year. I said, only 1 year? Can't I change the law? He said, no, you can't change the law. Right? He said, no, if you're making me king, then I should be able to change the law. He said, no, you only get 1 year. So he said, okay, after 1 year, what happens? The villagers, they told him, after 1 year, we will banish you from this island to another island. I said, oh, okay. How many people are on that other island? I said, no one survives on that island. So why? What happened? No one survives? I said, no one. It's a one-way ticket. You go there, you don't come out. The island is very dangerous, has many snakes, many poisonous insects. It has animals, wild, ferocious animals. There is no food. There is no water. So this merchant thought, what's going on here? 1 minute they're making me king, they're saying 1 year, and then they'll take me to an island and leave me stranded there. So he was a bit intelligent. He asked everything about that other island. And they told him, Then he asked, how do you know? If no one comes from there, how do you know that island is like that? He said, no, we can see from here. And we know that in this area, only this island is habitable, the rest are not. So he said, okay, fine. So as the year was progressing and he was the king, he first tested it out a little, told them to do some small things. They were all obeying him. He said, oh, this thing is real. I am the king. So then he arranged, he said, now, I want from the villagers, whoever can construct, who are good, experienced in construction, please come. So they all came front. He put them on a boat and sent them to that island. He said, you go there and now you build me a palace. And then he called the farmers. He said, those who are very expert in farming, please come. So they also came. He put them on a boat and sent them there. He said, start cultivating the land and start growing vegetables, fruits, flowers. You start all this. And then he called those who are very expert in hunting. And he said, I want you to go there, get all the snakes, deal with them. All the insects, deal with them. All the ferocious animals, deal with them. And so in this way, over the year, he kept on sending various parties, making sure. As the year was finishing, everyone came back from that island. And he asked, so how is it going? He said, yes, your palace is ready, the fields are ready, nothing will harm you there. He said, oh, this is very nice. So after the year was finished, the villagers said, now you have to get out. We are going to exile you to that other island. He said, yes, please do. He went very happily and lived on that island very happily. We are in a similar situation. Srila Prabhupada here is mentioning, we are all Puranjana. We've got a city or an island, this body, we are the king. But it has a limited time. The body is ticking. And after this body, we don't know which body we'll get. We can get the body of a worm with no eyes, only a mouth and one other hole at the end. And no ears, nothing, miserable existence, eat dirt, live in dirt. We can get that. Or we can get the body of a demigod, live in Swarga. So we have this body. Srila Prabhupada is saying, and he is given full freedom to use the body as he likes. So just like this merchant was given the village and the island, and you do what you want for 1 year. But after 1 year, you go. But he was intelligent. He said, no, where I'm going, I'll prepare that place. Whereas we find here today, most of the people are living and they say, no, you only live once. There is no other place to go. But that is wrong. If we misuse our kingdom, then we end up in a worse off state in the future. Therefore, an irresponsible king, Srila Prabhupada is saying, he just uses all the facilities for his sense gratification and he doesn't worry about anything else. But we have to be intelligent, we have to prepare for our next life. As Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, the soul is eternal. We don't die. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. But we go from one body to another. And here Narad Muni is saying there was this king who was living in the city, Puranjana. And he'll mention further that Puranjan went through so many cities until he came to a city of 9 gates. So our human body is that city. We have 9 gates, 9 holes in the body. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 anus and 1 genital. So 9 holes are there. And Narad Muni will explain that this Puranjan was roaming around looking for a suitable place to stay, and he found the most suitable place was the city of 9 gates, the human form of life. If we misuse the human form of life, then we get to go and live in lower cities, cities that have 1 gate or 2 gates or have no gates. They don't have all the facilities. In different planets, different environments. We may get to be born in a desert as a desert snake and then suffer because there is nothing to eat there. So therefore, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. We have been wandering from one city to another city to another city to another kingdom to another planet, going round and round. Mahaprabhu says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. Those who are fortunate, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, they get the seed of devotional service. Arjuna, he is asking Lord Krishna in the Gita, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetra Kshetragyam Evacha Etad Viditum Ichchami Jnanam Geyam Cha Keshava. My dear Lord, please tell me about these 6 things. Prakritim Purusham. Who is enjoyer and who is enjoyed? So, enjoyer is Purusha, enjoyed is Prakriti. Then tell me about Kshetra and Kshetragya. What is the field and the knower of the field? And lastly, Jnana and Gyeya. Tell me about knowledge and what is to be known. What is the object of knowledge? So immediately, Lord Shri Krishna, he says, Idam shariram konteya kshetra mityabhidiyate etadyo viti taramprahu kshetragya iti cha vida. This body is known as the field, kshetra. And the person within the body is the knower of the body, kshetragya, the knower of the field. The soul, Lord Krishna says, is the knower of the field. So just like if we have a field, then it is up to us what to grow there. The other day we were hearing from Srila Prabhupada, I think it was yesterday only, he was talking about Malaya Chandan. Chandan that grows in the Malaya hills. So when it's coming from there, then it's known as Malaya Chandan, very famous place where they were growing sandalwood. And Prabhupada said that that was Malaysia. But what did Malaysia do? They went, they cut down all the sandalwood trees and they started growing rubber. And now there's plantations of rubber everywhere, full of rubber. One of the largest producers of rubber on the planet is Malaysia. It's up to them what to grow. You can grow sandalwood or you can grow rubber. There are others, you can grow nice vegetables or you can grow onions. And you find people will grow large fields of onions, so much. Or like in Kenya, we grow a lot of tea and coffee. Large plantations of tea, large plantations of coffee. There are also large plantations of pineapple. So every field, the person living on the field, it's up to him what to do with the field. You can leave it even blank, empty, nothing. Don't cultivate it, just let it stay. But the scripture tells us how to best cultivate the field so that we can get the ultimate result. So therefore Lord Krishna says the field, this body is known as the field. And the soul living within the body is the knower of the field. But he is not the only knower. Kshetragya chapi mam vidi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, you should also know that I am also a knower. Srila Prabhupada gives the analogy of the government, just like here we in Chatsworth. Now every house here, the person living in the house, he knows what's going on in his house, where there's a garden, what rooms are there, everything. But at the same time, the Durban city officials also know what's going on in that house. Right? They know how many rooms it has, how big it is. Any unauthorized construction, they will catch you. Right? So they also know where is Chatsworth, where is Phoenix, where is all these areas, they have it known. But the individual house owner may not know all the areas, but the government knows all the areas of the country, where we are growing what, where what resources are coming from, right? So the same way, the Supreme Lord, He is the knower of all fields. He is a witness. This day and age, there is a lot of controversy regarding surveillance done by the government. They say government is always listening, big brother, listening to your calls, monitoring your movements through CCTV, and they don't disclose this. Monitoring your emails, everything. So some people who are very much privacy conscious, they're always in anxiety, oh, the government will get access to our stuff, we don't want them to get access. The government is always watching. The same way the Supreme Lord, He is watching everything we're doing. We know what's going on in our body, but we can't know what's going on in someone else's body. The Supreme Lord, He knows what's going on in everyone's body. Therefore, He is the supreme knower of the fields. And then similarly, Lord Krishna mentions there are also two types of Purusha. There is a fake Purusha whose name is Puranjan, and there is the real Purusha who is the Supreme Lord. So Purusha means enjoyer. There are two types of enjoyers. There is the fake one who are us. We are in this field, we are trying to enjoy, but really we can't enjoy. Because to enjoy, what is necessary? If we are to enjoy, what is needed? Who can say? What is needed to enjoy? Money? Okay, good. Yes, one needs money to enjoy. And what else? You mean to tell me that people who have no money have no enjoyment? They do. So what do you need for enjoyment? People who have money, they want more money, they got no enjoyment, they just get a lot of money. Right? For enjoyment, what is needed is ownership. If you own something, you can enjoy. Just like we all have phones. Why do we enjoy on the phone? Because it's our phone. If it was someone else's phone, you cannot enjoy that phone. Right? You can borrow it. There are some people who are very expert at borrowing the phones. Yeah. You can borrow it, but then there's always the risk that you'll get caught and you'll have to return the phone because it's not your phone. Therefore, everyone buys their own phone so that they can enjoy the facilities of that phone. But the problem is with us here in the material world, we are fake Purushas, we are fake enjoyers because we don't own anything. we are also borrowing from the Supreme Lord. Therefore there is frustration. Supreme Lord, He is the only enjoyer because everything is His. It's like if someone is a chauffeur, he may be driving a very nice, expensive BMW, right, or a Mercedes Benz, but he can't say as a chauffeur, oh, let me go pick my girlfriend with this. He's going to get into trouble. Yeah. Because it's not his car. He cannot drive it as he pleases. He has to follow the instructions of his boss. So the same way, Lord Krishna has given us a facility, but this facility is loaned to us. It is not ours. We are just renting the facility. And therefore, we can't enjoy fully. Yeah, the chauffeur can sit in the car and enjoy the AC and can enjoy the nice comfy seats and, the technology within the car, but he cannot take the car wherever he wants. So the enjoyment is very limited. So in order to be a Purusha, one needs to be an owner. In order to enjoy, one needs to own. But we own nothing. Therefore, we can enjoy nothing. Therefore, Lord Krishna tells us, Bhoktaram yagi tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Know that I am the supreme enjoyer. I am the bhokta. Why? Because sarva loka maheshwaram. I am the supreme Lord. Therefore, we find that there is so much frustration today because people are trying to enjoy without the ownership and they are not alone. The problem is we are not alone. If we were given a space and told, okay, this is your space, no one will come here, all the best. We'll enjoy for some time. But if there is another person there, then we start saying, okay, this is my side, that is your side. You don't come to my side, I will not go to your side. Right? And then you bring a third person, you have to divide it. And in that way, we find that everyone is fighting for that space, everyone is fighting for that ownership, and therefore they are all being frustrated. That is why wars are happening. That is why there is so much quarrel. Because the side that I'm on, I don't like it anymore. I want your side. And that person will say, no, my side is my side. It's not your side. So Srila Prabhupada was mentioning these wars people are fighting over land. Yeah. Few thousand years ago, those countries didn't exist. But the land was still there. So whose was it at that time? See, the country is giving a name, oh, we are this country and this is our land. But the country wasn't existing 1,000 years ago. Right? So how did it become your land? See. So therefore, whose land is it? It's Krishna's land. Because even after you go, the land will still remain. Therefore we find here, Narad Muni is saying, Puranjan, he is a king and he is celebrated for his activities, Briyat Shrava, because he has done so many things in so many places. And we've done the same. In every body that we get, we are doing some activities. We become famous in those bodies. Even in animal bodies, one can become famous. In Kenya, we have a story there that when the British brought the Indians to build the railway, so as they were building a railway, there were two lions who were terrorizing them. Because these lions had a taste for human flesh. And so as they were building the railway and they would move their camps accordingly, as much as the progress is done, these lions would follow. And at night they would come and they would take, you just hear a scream and then that's it. They would come into the tent, grab the person, run away with the person, kill him and eat him. And so they were very terrorized. Even the British were very worried, oh, how to deal with these lions. They even gave the lions names. One was called Ghost and the other one was called Darkness. This is, you can find it. Ghost and the Darkness, how they were terrorizing all the workers who were working on the railways. So even in animal body, you can have fame. You can have fame. You've done work, you've done some great thing or some unusual thing, you get. So we've been doing this in many bodies, doing so much activities everywhere. Therefore, Narad Muni is saying Brihat Shrava, one who has done great activities. So many. The unending cycle of activities that keeps us here. And therefore Arjuna asked, please tell me, who is the real enjoyer? Who is really Purusha? We are not Purusha. Krishna tells us. He tells us of Prakriti, two types. Bhumirapanalo vayu khammano budirevacha ahankara iti yame bhina prakriti. One enjoyer, that one Prakriti that Lord Krishna enjoys is known as the external one, that is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. These are Lord Krishna's separated energy. And then apart from this Prakriti, then there is a superior Prakriti. And he says, Aparayam itastvanyam Prakriti vidime param Jiva bhuta mahavao yedam dharite jagat. The soul, the Jivatma, he is also Prakriti. He is to be enjoyed. But he is a superior enjoyer to the dull matter. But both are Prakriti. Lord Krishna is very clear. Mamay vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shashtanindriyani prakriti stani karshati. That these are my parts, but they are nonetheless Prakriti. They are to be enjoyed. They are not the enjoyers. So when we realize we are not the enjoyer, we are meant for giving service to Krishna, then we are rightly situated in knowledge. So jnana, knowledge, means to know who is the enjoyer, who are we, and what is our relationship to that person, to the enjoyer. So who is Krishna, who is Paramatma, as Lord Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, who is Jivatma, and what is their relationship. So Narad Muni is saying, the Jivatma, Puranjan, has an unknown friend. Avigyata nama. He doesn't know the name of the friend. See? And avigyata cheshtita. Nor does he know about his activities. Two ways he remains unknown. He doesn't know even the name, and he doesn't even know what he does. In this world, is it possible to have an unknown friend? Unknown enemy is very easy. So many unknown enemies. We don't know who they are. Yeah. And then we have friends and so-called friends, and sometimes the so-called friends are also unknown enemies. See? This is our situation. We cannot know who is our enemy. But unknown friend, very difficult. Someone who is our well-wisher, right? And we don't know. It was very difficult to find. But Lord Krishna is that person. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. He is the greatest well-wisher of all living entities. And he is the Paramatma seated in the heart, the unknown friend, waiting. The Manduka Upanishad tells us about two birds sitting on a tree. One bird is so busy eating the fruit, he doesn't even know that the other bird is watching him. He's just going from one fruit to another. Oh, this fruit was very sour. Let me go for another one. Oh, this fruit was very sweet. Let me look for another one. Oh, this fruit very bitter right now. Oh, and he's just busy hopping from one branch to another, trying to eat different types of fruits, and he doesn't know that the other bird is there with him. Avigyata, unknown. You know how people get so busy on their phone and you're talking to them and they're just like so busy on the phone. And then you tell them, yeah, I'm going to kill you, and then they still don't bother. They're busy on the phone. Right? They get so absorbed. So we are so absorbed in this material world, so absorbed in trying to get different types of enjoyment that we have forgotten Paramatma is seated in our hearts. We wanted to forget. Therefore Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matas smritir jnana mapohanam cha. The Lord seated in our hearts gives us the forgetfulness to forget Him. We told Him, we don't want to know you. We want to enjoy. Lord Krishna said, you can't enjoy because you're not the owner, but nonetheless, let me give you a place. So just like sometimes we find some small girls, they want to cook with the mother. And they insist. They see the mother making chapati on the stove and they're like, I also want to make. So what does the mother do? She brings a fake stove, gives the daughter here, and gives a set of rolling pin and so she's there trying to make the chapati, but the fire is not real. The stove is fake. But she's thinking, oh, I'm also making chapati like my mother. Right? Same thing with us. We were crying with Krishna. No, we also want to enjoy. Okay, go to the material world. And He's given us a fake stove where you make your chapatis. And we're trying. We're trying so hard. Yeah. But no, we're getting frustrated. Because we are not Purusha. But the same mother is making real chapatis and then feeding the daughter. And she gets to enjoy the real chapatis that the mother is making. Her chapatis are fake. So when we surrender unto Lord Krishna, then we also get real chapatis. We get prasad. Krishna gives us. Okay, here. Yes, I have given you. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yad kincha jagatam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magrida kasya siddhanam. The Ishopanishad tells us, Ishavashyam idam sarvam, everything belongs to Lord Krishna. He is the supreme proprietor. But He has allocated a quota to each and every living entity. So the living entity should enjoy that quota knowing well to whom it belongs. So when the daughter is given chapati by her mother, oh, she can eat, she can even ask for another one, she'll get. But if she goes herself to the kitchen, to the store, takes out the flour bag and tries on her own, she'll mess it up, number one. Number two, the chapati will not be cooked because she doesn't have a real stove. Number three, she'll get into trouble from the mother because the mother will say, why didn't you ask me? You've messed it up. The whole kitchen is a mess. See? So we're doing the same thing. We're coming here without asking the Lord for our facilities. We're trying to grab other people's facilities. Therefore, there is so much conflict. And we don't know how to enjoy either. What is real enjoyment, we don't know. But when we surrender unto Lord Krishna, when we re-establish our relationship with our unknown friend, then we're able to enjoy according to the directions of Lord Krishna. He gives us prasad. Prasade sarva dukhanam hani rasyopajayate prasanna chetaso yasu buddhi paryavatishtate. Lord Krishna tells us, those who are intelligent, they are happy. Why? Because they accept Krishna prasad. Whatever they have, whatever facilities they have, they take it as Krishna prasad, they use it in His service. So the devotees understand Krishna is the enjoyer, He is the controller. My work, my activities are to use whatever He has given me in His service. Then one is happy, prasanna, one becomes happy. Otherwise, as we'll read further on, Puranjan, he gets into trouble, and not just ordinary trouble, great trouble, and then he has to come back many times just to get to the right point. We are given 8.4 million bodies. species. We're going round, round. In the human form of life, we get another chance to come out. If we don't do it properly, again, go round. Yeah. So therefore, Narad Muni, he's trying to save Prachinabari from this circle of going round and round. Different types of bodies, different planets, different environments. He wants to put a stop. And therefore he's saying, this karma kanda that you're doing is not going to help you, because you will keep on going round. You have to change your work. There's someone who gave a definition of madness. He said madness is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That is madness. Right? So, if the same formula that has been used from Prachinabari's time of karma kanda, everyone else is doing it and thinking, no, I'll make it. Srila Prabhupada is quoting Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Napoleon, Hitler. These were people who had done great things. Same thing they were doing, trying to enjoy. But they weren't successful. Yet here we are sitting, we are thinking, no, I'll make it. Hiranyakashipu, he messed up somewhere, but I will not mess up like him. I'm going to make sure I'll make it. But we're using the same formula as Hiranyakashipu. So if we use the same formula, how do we get a different result? The same result. Nashingadev rip us apart. Therefore, we have to change the formula. This is what Narad Muni is going to explain to Prachinabari. Change the formula. Don't use this karma kanda formula. This karma kanda formula will end up you getting pierced by iron horns. But if you change the formula, then there is a possibility that you will get saved. Yeah. Therefore, that formula involves getting in touch with this unknown friend. The unknown friend is always there, but there is a method to contact him. There is a method to come out from the fruits that we are so much absorbed in, yeah? And then engage and interact with the unknown friend. And that method is through the process of devotional service. And that we start with chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahaprabhu mentions our heart is covered by dust. The mirror of the heart is covered by dust. We can't see ourselves in that mirror, what to speak of seeing the friend. But when we cleanse the mirror, the dust from it, through the process of chanting, then we see ourselves. And as soon as we see ourselves, oh, I am the soul. Immediately we see who's standing next to us. Oh, there is also someone else. Oh, who are you? You are Paramatma. Okay. Then the relation is formed. So it all starts with the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Then we get to know. This is jnana. Lord Krishna says everything else apart from this is known as ignorance. So jnana, process of knowledge, is to know who is to be known. And that is the Paramatma, because right now he is unknown, avigyata. So we need a process to know the unknown. And that process is devotional service. So in this way, we will see Narad Muni very intricately. This story of Puranjan is an allegory. Allegory means he's saying something but it's meaning something else. So here he's saying Puranjan, the first hint we've got, he's using Puranjan but actually it's Prachinabari. See? He'll say city of 9 gates but it is the body. And in this way, he'll come up with the whole allegory, each thing relating to us. Here, in this context, it is relating to Prachinabari. But for us, we are also Puranjan. This is also our story. We are in the same situation. So Narad Muni, if we hear his allegory well, his story well, and if we are able to relate it to ourselves, we'll also know how to get out of the city of 9 gates, how to become supremely happy by not entering a city ever again. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।